What was the first time you met Kobe?
I got a chance to meet Kobe when I went to UCLA.
Okay.
So Kobe came to the Lakers in '96, if I'm not mistaken. I got to the UCLA in '98. And from everything I've heard, there wasn't very much synergy early on with him, with his teammates, because he was so young. So he was always on campus at UCLA, always eating, walking around. He would work out in Poly.
Maybe he was missing the college experience.
Maybe,
he was passing
what it was like in
LA.
And UCLA is no slouch, so he was on our campus kind of enjoying somewhat of the college life. And I remember I would sneak back into Poly and watch him train. I'm just like, God, this dude is incredible. I remember one time, I don't remember what season it was, but he broke his right hand. And he was in there with the cast doing everything. Remember the season he came back and he's shooting a lot of left-handed stuff. Like, how is he making this? I literally seen Kobe go through an entire workout with his right hand casted up, but him shooting and dribbling and playing like he was a left-handed player. And it was just like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a chance to meet him early on. Was just a fan. I wouldn't even say it was a friendship. Every time we saw each other, it was up. And got a chance to obviously make the NBA and just knew that I wanted to guard him. So it was just a mutual respect back and forth that it kind of culminated with the ball fake in Orlando in 2009, the 2009-10 season.
Yeah.
They ended up winning a championship that year. We lose to the Celtics in the Eastern Finals, and I'm a free agent. And I get a phone call from him, and don't know how he got my number, didn't believe it was him when he first called, and, started talking about what I'm going to do, and, told me if anyone's crazy enough to F with me, it's crazy enough to play with me, do you want to be a Laker? I'm like, hell yeah. And like 4 days later, I was a Laker.
Kobe Bryant called you.
Cold called. Like, I didn't even have his number saved. I don't even answer my phone when I see the name. For some reason, I answered this California number when I was in Orlando, and it happened to be him.
And he said, you, unbeknownst to you, kind of sold yourself because you were crazy with him?
Ain't crazy enough to F with me is crazy enough to play with me.
Well, I mean, I can assume. How did you F with Kobe?
It was just always a battle. And then, that was the ball fake in Orlando that year. But it was just a back and forth game where, Kobe was, I always tell people, obviously the physical display was on every single night. But the mental side was the side I got to know and love. And he was a sicko. And he would do everything he could to get that advantage. And him being Kobe, they weren't going to call much of it. So he would elbow you, grab you, pretty much do whatever he want to you. And I was just fed up and I was ready to fight. It's funny, we talked. So we did his last interview as well. It was supposed to be a 2-part interview because we only got like 40 minutes with him. But we talked about that time where I said, forget, I was ready to fight you that night. You know what I mean? And the ball fake happened. But I guess he just liked that fire because you got to think the year before, him and Ron and Tess got into it. So he went and got Ron. And then the following year, he got into it with me. So he went and got me. So there was a times where me, Kobe, and Ron would be on the floor at the same time. So we obviously wanted him to save his energy for offense and let me and Ryan handle all the dirt. But if someone would score 2 or 3 points on us or, a couple buckets on us, get out the way, I got him. Like, he would be fighting with me and Ron because he wanted to guard the best player. But we wanted to guard the best player so he could save all his energy for offense. So just the ultimate competitor, went from a mutual respect to teammates to a brotherhood where we would, Kobe used to come to, my kids were 2 years younger than Gianna. We would both be coaching AAU, and we would talk the night before tournament. Hey, what time you play? We'd play sometimes 2 hours before they would play, and he would come watch my twins play. And they're only like 8 or 9 years old, so it's not like you're just seeing any kind of breathtaking basketball. But the fact that he would come to a tournament 2 hours before to watch my kids just really meant a lot. He would always send them the newest shoes. Their team would always get the newest shoes, and we just really grew from an altercation that happened in the game.
Unbelievable. What a story, Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
And we on this show interviewed him, I think, about a month before you got him to sit down in his final interview. And this is after LeBron had arrived here in L.A., and there was rumor that maybe he's going to come back and play with LeBron, right? And he said there was zero chance he would do that, and kind of was offended that, okay, I only know how to play basketball, huh? And he'd already gotten his Oscar in the case, and he was like trying for the EGOT.
Yeah.
He wanted to get an Emmy. He wanted to get a Tony. In the same way that you're talking about, you want to do more than just sports. Were you able ever to receive the praise from him about what you've become and what you're becoming?
Loved it. He gave it.
I'd imagine
he gave it to us on the show. I would have never thought you two. He never thought you two would have been doing what you're doing. But, you know, it's funny what you said about the basketball thing because he was so adamant. I remember before we got the interview, we went in his office and he was finishing this novel he was writing. He was writing these children's novels.
Down in Orange County, right?
And he was telling us, he's just like, you know, forget basketball. I'm just like, you're Kobe. No one's ever forget basketball. He's like, no, he's like, I want to be known like these next 20 years. I want to be known for what I do these next 20 years, not the last 20 years. So he was adamant about basketball was, yes, I am who I am and I did what I did, but wait till you see what I'm about to do on this business side. And I wholeheartedly believed it. I mean, he was, you know, he had a fund and he was writing books and he was winning awards for content. And I have no doubt with the mindset because, you know, as athletes, we're disciplined to handle our business. And you know, I've been blessed to now, instead of getting up at 6 a.m. to go hit the track of the weight room, I get up at 6 a.m. and get on an email. You know what I mean? So I just think our natural discipline to be great in something, if you apply yourself, is there. And, you know, that was something that I learned from him. It's just like, you know, just take that same discipline that you had in sports and apply it to the business world and you'll be fine.
Yeah. He doesn't flinch, right?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
One of the very few.
Pretty much. What did you think when he didn't flinch?
That he's crazy just like me.
Did you ever ask him why he didn't flinch? Or
it was.
You don't have to ask him that question.
What's understood doesn't have to be explained. I just knew he was wired different, just kind of like I was.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.